Hello, Rajni. Very good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon to yours also. Lovely to have you with us today on a very interesting discussion. And it's all about books, it's all about the life we lead. And the way we lead life, we also portray our life an example to people around. So, once again, welcome to Your Soul Soup and all the audience here with us. So, a little bit about Prashant. Prashant is a best selling author, a leadership coach, a trainer, a founder of Phoenix Leadership Learning Solution with a very immense, rich experience of 17 years of his career. He has worked in organizations, an executive, a trainer, a leader, and a coach. And now is working as a business coach to make it more easier to see life through his book, which is called as Leading the Way. He says leadership is like love. That's very interesting, Prashant, and very catchy to understand. How does a leadership is not like a love, though it's a little thing that matters in life most. So today we are here with Prashant to go with an interesting talk about the topic around leading the books, infringement live. So Prashant and I have talked about lately about few examples of of the mind and creating a new path for many, because me coming from an education background for 360-degree sites, we always talk about education as a holistic approach and creating the life and any opportunity, especially in this disruptive world, how it is important to flashback to your own life, how it is important to understand your own self, because we are universe in ourselves. And if we understand ourselves, we can create opportunities, we can create a life ahead in a better way. So Prashant, what happens? So very interesting, your book and the covers, a lot of thoughts I have in my mind to ask with you. So first thing I would like to ask, what happens when dream you love, that we love since childhood, is on hold and doesn't come true? And how does that book can open the mind of making that dream come true?
Interesting way you asked that question, Rajni. The words that you used right from the beginning when you started. You used some powerful words like "we are the universe." Understanding that we are not a part of it, we are it. Which means as much as we are an individual, but there is a universe within us, and it reminds me of something that we saw on television. Krishna's story when Lord Krishna was a kid, and when he was playing and he was eating mud, and his mother Yashoda was like, don't do this, don't eat mud, and he's like, no, I'm not eating mud. He's like, no, open your mouth. And he opened his mouth, and she could see the entire universe in his mouth, right? Now that's a pure representation in terms of symbolism, that there is entire universe within us. We do not understand how powerful we are, and parallelly at the same time we do not understand how powerless we are. Now there's a quote that I
Absolutely.
believe in very much, which says that you are more powerful than you can think. Basically, the essence is that you are more in control of your life than you can think, and you are much less in control of your life than you can think. So there's a contrast between these two. So that's what I believe in, that as a whole, as an individual, we have the universe within us, so we are a part of it. Now, coming back to your question, when you spoke about my book and you spoke about the dreams, you spoke about dreams getting fulfilled or dreams not getting fulfilled. Now I would like to just take my book. So this is the book that we are talking about. This is the book here, and this book is my life story from the day I have the first memory of my life, the flashes that are prominent in my life, the day when we left Kashmir, from the day when I was actually writing the book. Like, that is where it ends, where I say that, the book is going to go for edit in a few days. That is where I finished the book. So it is basically an ups and downs of my life. The dreams that I have seen, the dreams that I want to fulfill in my life. Some came to me on their own, and some I saw through my eyes. But it's an amalgamation of my journey, of my dreams, of my learnings, of my falls. And that's what I have tried to just put in a book as an essence. That's what the book is all about, Rajni.
So Prashant, when do we get to know? Like I'm writing a book since almost like a year around or 10 months kind of, but still I feel that something is missing. I have to fill the gap. I flash back, my memories come, then I try to put those nuggets somewhere, and I believe that still there is a time for my dream to come true, book to be launched, or let people know about the life I have been through and what I'm trying to share. So when do you feel that your dream was about to come true, and this is the time to go like a go live, when we say in our corporate world? When is the right time to feel that okay, this is the moment of go live?
Hmm. So I think what I always believe is, for anything to happen, for any action to be taken, for it to become a reality, intention is very important. The power of intention is very important, which means, why do you want to do something? If that intention is very strong, then that will lead you to take that action. Be it writing a book, be it publishing your book, be it starting your video channel, be it joining a course, be it leaving something, be it joining something, any decision that you're looking to take, if there is something that is stopping you, then it is because your intention is not strong enough. So when do you know that it is the right time is not something that is fixed, or is not something that is very objective. It is a very subjective thing, which means it's a very individualistic thing. You will know that it's the right time for you when your intention is strong, saying that कि मुझे book लिखनी क्यों है, why do I want to write the book, why do I want to publish the book, what is the whole idea behind it. And two questions that stand out for me is, what do you stand to gain from this action, and what do you stand to lose from this action. You need to have clarity. Once you have clarity of intention, it's very important to have the clarity of vision. Clarity of vision is on these two questions कि ये action लेने से what will happen, what will I gain, what will the world gain from it, and what will I lose, what will the world lose from it. Once you are clear about your intention, once you're clear about your vision, that itself will drive you, and you will know it is the right time. Because
You're basically, I buy your point, your inner conscious will tell you, okay, this is the moment.
your
Because if it
inner
is
conscious
happening,
will tell you if your intention is strong enough. Otherwise, it will just keep pushing and procrastinating, because it is not very powerfully driven. It's not something
I
which
agree.
you
Yes.
actually want to do.
So I understand that there are many books I have also read, and people do read, which helps a person to articulate your emotions, your mind, or your thoughts. Even it has helped me to find my voice, because as you rightly said, when to open a YouTube channel, when to do what, the thoughts comes, but yes, you are in the planning phase, you are trying to add value to yourself, and then this is the right time. So if it were the books, I would have been a different person today. So so what do you feel that how do a book articulate a person's mind, emotions, or thoughts, and showing a path in a life which puts a person on the right track, basically?
So, Rajni, for me, the experience has been a little different. Now, I'll tell you one major reason for me when I speak about the intention, major reason for me to write this book was because I believe that the life experiences that I have gone through, be it personal or professional, there is a lot of value that I have gotten from those experiences, good or bad. They have shaped me to be the person that I am today. Now, being in the world of training and coaching, serving has become a very integral part of my domain. It has become a very integral part of my value system, which means to help others is where the happiness comes from. To make other people value themselves and take on a journey of growth and actually move towards their visions and dreams is where I get my happiness. That's a very selfish reason, but that's how I feel happy. So I continue to do it. Now, book is one thing that I feel is one way for me to reach many people at the same time. Now, if I talk to people, I can talk one to one. But by creating a video channel, when we speak on YouTube, when we speak on different social media platforms, when we write on a book, it's a method of reaching a lot of people at the same time. And you don't even have control of how many people will this reach. Now, that's a power that digital platforms hold today, and that's a power the book holds, because it will be there even when I am gone, and it will still keep serving people, it will still keep helping people. Now, the point that I was trying to make earlier was that when it comes to books, one, reading the books is essential. Some books have helped me in my life at a very important areas of my life, at important junctures of my life, where my life is shifted because of something that I read. But one experience that was very unique, which I was not aware of, Rajni, was that the experience of writing the book. When I started, I'll be very honest, I thought ki, theek hai yaar, I have to write about my life. What else is there? I know it, so I'll start writing. Now, once I started writing, I did not realize that it will take me through an experience of inner reflection. It will in itself become like a therapy. I went in through experiences because I went through the 30 years of my life. I wrote down everything that was happening in my life. It was like I was reliving that experience. And while I was doing that, there were days when I was laughing. I was alone sitting in this room. I was
Yeah,
laughing and I was so
have
happy.
yes. We do
And
have
there were
incidents.
days, yes,
Laugh
there
at
are
that. It's
incidents.
the best therapy, it's been said. Yes.
It does. And there are days when I was crying and there were tears rolling in my through my eyes when I was writing the book. And there are people that I called because there were loops that were open. So I realized कि कुछ लोग ऐसे ही मेरी जिंदगी में जिन्होंने मेरे ऊपर इतना impact किया है that I need to reach out to them. I've never told them thank you. Thank you for being there for me at those times. And they didn't even remember. They're like, क्या बोल रहा है तू? I was like, you may not remember. But now, since I'm going through this reflection, I'm remembering those times when you helped me in a point which was very important for me. And there were loops that were also closed emotionally, where I was angry with certain things, where I was unhappy with certain people. But that has somewhere been inside me. And because of this expression, that's why people say write journals. As you also said that you write journals. Writing journals is a way of expressing yourself and venting out your feelings and putting it on paper. So there are loops that get closed. There are emotions that get released. I think that's an experience that I went through, that those emotions got released. Very understand, that heaviness went off,
So
and
you become
that was
very
very
light in
empowering.
spirit and weigh down all everything which doesn't let you fly. So that's the best way to weigh down to write everything in a piece of book.
Absolutely, it does. So the point that I'm trying to make is that reading books is vital. It helps, there is no doubt about it. But one amazing experience that you will have if you start writing a book, and if not a book, if you just start writing a journal, will be that there'll be loops that will get closed. You will become more grateful towards life. You will start closing those negative emotions and you will start reaching out to more and more people. So you feel very lighter in your journey if you start writing. It's a very powerful tool. That's what I experienced.
So if it is not wrong, because I come from a science background as a science student, so I would call it as like a mini neuron which fire your brains, like both when you are writing or even reading, and venting out all your emotions, sharing with someone which you call as a book, book as a best friend. And we perform, then slowly we start realizing, we do a self-realization and we start taking actions ourselves. So in the entire course of writing this book, what was your mini neuron that made you write this book? That one small episode. There are a lot of things, of course, in the process you are sharing and you will be sharing, but that one small episode that made you write this book, and what are these small activities did you perform during writing this book? Because the audience who will listen this are many youth also. The youth in today's world are very quick, and they're very quick fast of doing this A, and if it doesn't work they go to B, then they go to B, C, and they quickly change and the thought process. But writing a book itself is a patience which asks a lot of thought process, which asks to perform a lot of activities. So what is that key 2-3 activities you perform, and that one mini neuron which made you write this book?
Well, now if I think about it, as I said earlier, one thing that made me write this book, which was very which was driving this whole thing, was to share my learnings, to share my story with people. Because again, being a trainer and a coach, there are so many people that I interact with, that I realized that there is so much that people are going through. And if there is a way for me to share my journey with them, saying that, there's a lot that I've gone through and I understand that you're also going through a lot, but life has a way of bringing things back to normal. Life has a way of helping you in many ways. Like there is a very powerful book called The Power of Subconscious Mind, and it has a very beautiful statement that drives me a lot, where it says that there are two kinds of people in the world. One are people who work with confidence, belief, and faith. One are those people who work with fear, doubt, and worry. So you have a choice to make. Are you someone who chooses to be fearsome, who actually chooses to worry and chooses to constantly doubt? Or are you choosing confidence in yourself? Are you choosing to have belief in yourself? And are you choosing to have faith in the universe, something that is external, something that you can't see, but you know that it exists? So there is a choice that you have to make. And I always believe that you don't sit and start analyzing this. That's what I believe in. That if you read something and if it hits you, don't analyze it and don't try to build theories around it. No, universe has nothing to prove to you. It is not, it is, don't look for evidence. It has nothing to prove to you. It has been existing for millions of years. It will continue to exist for millions of years. So it has nothing to prove to you. So don't wait for the day when universe will give me evidence and I will believe in the divine. It is there. It is there. You accept it or you don't accept it. It's a choice that you have. So I chose to accept the path of confidence, faith, and belief. I said that, that is what I believe in. Confidence is something I can develop. I can learn the skills. I can gain the knowledge. I can build that inner belief in myself by constantly pushing myself outside my comfort zone. But while doing that, there is a power that is way beyond me that I don't understand and I don't need to understand. And that is where faith comes into picture. And that's the path that I chose. Now, having said this, was it easy that I chose confidence, faith, and belief, and life changed, and I was awesome, great, now everything looks normal? It was not. That's not how it worked. Now, once I did that, also every day I felt, there were days when I sat and I did not write anything, and I was like, "मेरे से नहीं होने वाला, मेरे बस की बात नहीं है, Prashant." You felt like it, but boss, you're not cut out to be a writer. It's so difficult to write 200, 300 words. How will you write a book of 200, 300 pages? So it's not going to happen. You're not a writer. You probably hire somebody. पैसे दे दो किसी को, उसको अपनी कहानी सुनाओ और वो लिख लेगा. But then I started thinking that tomorrow when the book is out, when that day comes when I have to go out there and say that this is my book, when my daughter becomes a little older and she's like, okay, my father has published a book, will she be proud of the fact that I had published that book? And I had a choice of not telling her. मैं बोल सकता था कि ये मैंने लिखी है, but मुझे तो पता था ना मैंने नहीं लिखी है. So will I have that genuine pride of happiness that my daughter is proud of me that her father is an author? So
this
that
becomes
was something.
Sorry?
So
I'm sorry, this becomes a mini neuron for you that triggers you to write yourself.
Yeah, that triggered me to write myself. I wanted the book to be out, but for me to write it myself, saying that nahi Prashant, it has to be me. Let it have mistakes. Let it not be a perfect version. But this is something that you need to be proud of so that your family, your daughter is tomorrow proud of it. And when she reaches out to you with pride, you should be able to connect with authenticity, saying that this it is 100% me. There is nothing inauthentic about this whole thing. So that is what I wanted. And that was the mini you that was driving me. Now, talking about another element, Rajni, which is important, is that, you mentioned about youth, you mentioned about people jumping from A to B to C and what they struggle with. This is where you need to understand the power of discipline. And this is what works magically for me, that if you set your mind to something, give it a certain timeline. And what I did is every day from 3 to 5, these 2 hours, I came and sat on this table and this chair every day with an attempt to write. There were days I did not write even one word, but I did not get up. My mind was aligned to this activity, saying that, Prashant, 3 to 5 is your writing time. You might write a word, you might write 2, you might have a blank page, but you sit here every single day authentically and put in that effort. And the magic starts after some time. After 5, 7, 8, 9 days, you start building that flow. And in neuro-linguistic programming, this is called anchoring. You anchor your mind that 3 to 5 is the writing space, is your creative space. So slowly those creative juices start flowing. But it does not happen on the first day. On 5th, 7th, 9th, 10th day, I started writing more and more and more. So the point that I would like to mention and end, the answer to this question is that discipline is the key. You set your mind to something, give a timeline to it, and give your best in that timeline for a certain period of time. 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, just close your eyes and be like, मैं इसको ये देने वाला हूं. I'm going to do this action for next 6 months for these 2 hours. After 6 months, I'll see whether it's working or not. If it doesn't align, then probably it's not supposed to happen and I will move to something else. But don't jump in a single day.
Yes. You've touched a very important point to understand that power of thoughts are very important. And as you build on your thoughts, you build up a story. So it's very important to have patience, perseverance, keep on building your thoughts, Be disciplined. That's very important, even in the leadership roles when we talk about, even in the coachings and the training sessions. So your book Leading the Way focuses on leaders or the aspiring leaders or an entrepreneur striving to build and grow their dream. It also talks about the self growth also, which you have been talking about. What in your thought, in your journey, that you would like to reflect, that you have reflected in the book as well, and that broke some of your notions and made you lead ahead this journey?
My biggest takeaway from this book has been the power of discipline, which I even spoke about earlier,
Right.
that if you sit at something, if you put your mind to something saying that I'm going to do it, and I'm going to give this much time every single day to it, it will happen. Now, if you have read the book, there are multiple stories that I share about the power of grit and discipline. I was someone who used to stutter for 25 years of my life, and doctors had given up on me. They said nothing can be done about it because there is nothing to fix. It's something that is there, it is there. There is nothing we can do medically. But I worked on it. It took me months and months of hard work, but my intention was very strong. My reasons, my drive to fix it was very strong, and I did it. Now, again, I did not know whether it will happen or not, but I worked on it every single day with discipline, pushing myself, not knowing how many days, how many months will it take, but all I knew is I will do whatever it takes, but I have to make it happen. Ek mahina lage, 10 saal lage, I'm making it happen. So if somebody asks me, Prashant, kitne ghante lage tere ko, how many hours does it take? How much did you? I don't know. I don't even remember. All I know, it took many months. Maybe मैंने दिन में 6 घंटे दिए, maybe दिन में मैंने 18 घंटे दिए, मुझे नहीं पता. But I lived and breathed in those times only fixing that stutter. Then I was somebody who was 104.6 kgs. I lost
Oh,
and I got to 66 kgs of weight. Again, sheer determination, sheer intention that I need to make it happen. I knew why I'm going behind it. I worked on it and I made it happen. Now, did I know before starting that I'll make it happen? No. Did I know how long will it take? No. But again, my intention was very strong. My reasons of what do I stand to gain, what do I stand to lose were very strong. The exact same thing applied in this book as well, that when I was writing, sheer discipline, understanding कि I'm not depending on my mood. ऐसा नहीं है कि 250 पे मैं सोच रहा हूँ, do I feel like writing today? That question is not coming in my mind. 2:55, I get up, I move up, and I come and sit here at 3 o'clock, and I'm going to sit on this chair till 5. Maybe I'll just sit like this. I will do nothing, but I'll sit here on this chair till 5 o'clock. That is the sheer discipline that I agreed to. Now, it's very important to understand that you have to make a decision with yourself that this is what I'm going to do. This is my identity. This is the commitment that I have made to myself, and I'm going to stick to it. Whatever happens, I will stick to it. Now, there will be challenges that will come your way, Rajni, and it will happen to everyone. There will be distractions. कभी किसी का फोन कॉल आ गया, कभी मम्मी पापा ने बुला लिया, कभी किसी दोस्त ने बुला लिया. Life में चीजें होती हैं, right? So it's important to understand that there are two kinds of distractions. One, distractions that you can control. Second are distractions you cannot control. Distractions that you can control are the ones that you move away from, which means at 2:55 मेरा फोन नीचे रहता था, मैं ऊपर लेके नहीं आता था, because phone can distract me. अपनी वाइफ को, अपनी मम्मी को मैंने क्लियरली बोल के रखा था 3 to 5 is my time to work. Whatever happens, unless it's an emergency where things are at stake कि मैं नहीं हो तो कुछ हो जाएगा, do not bother me. Unless it's something urgent and important, don't reach out to me for anything. That is what happened. And initially, did they agree to it? Did they understand? No, because our definition of urgent and important was probably different. किसी दिन मेरी वाइफ ऊपर चढ़ जाती थी कि 4:30 हो गए, चाय पीने का टाइम हो गया. I'm like, that is not important and urgent. Let me finish till 5. Having tea together might be important for you, and it's important for me as well because it's a ritual that we follow, our family bonding. But not right now, because I'm trying to focus on something which is not easy, but I'm trying to build a discipline. So the definition happened, और धीरे 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 alignment बन जाता है हर चीज में.
So this is something which you're saying is that setting boundaries with self also and setting boundaries with the people around also is equally important. Like
Yes.
These days I've started, whenever my session goes on or I'm busy with some work, I've started updating the WhatsApp status as D&D. So people know that do not disturb her, rather in a very polite way, because then you set the lines, you set the boundaries, and you're able to focus on the areas you're looking forward.
Absolutely. And if it is important for you, you will make it happen. See, don't fool yourself. अगर आप excuses बना रहे हो internal or external, you're just fooling yourself.
Right.
If you have to make something happen, you will make something happen. It might not happen in the timeline that you want, because things happen in life. You might think I'll make this happen in 3 months, but then you're like, something happened at home. Something happened in life that took away a month of your life. And that's all right. Be compassionate with self and accept that things will happen in life, which means 3 महीने में नहीं हुआ, 5 महीने में हो जाएगा. It's all right. But it is better to achieve it rather than never achieve it. Have a regret for entire life कि मैं शायद बुक लिख सकता था, मैं शायद weight lose कर सकता था, मैं शायद वो stutter से दूर बजा सकता था. Maybe I could have done something in life. I could have started my own business. Instead of having those regrets, you should be like, शायद मैं ये 1 साल में कर सकता था, but then things happened in life, but I achieved it in 2 years. That is also amazing. So let the timeline move because of things that are beyond your control. But if you are giving an excuse saying that कि यार लाइफ में इतना कुछ हो रहा है, मेरे पास कहाँ टाइम है, बीवी है या बच्चे हैं या जिंदगी है, ऑफिस है, you're just fooling yourself. You're just making excuses. If you want to do it, you can do it.
Somewhere these two words which I've always kept aside, not in my life dictionary of life, is if and hope. Somewhere I think that is very also another way of topic to be discussed, that those are like shayad kind of. So universe will only step in and push you more, because when your intent is right, Prashant. So in your book also, Prashant, it says that it's natural to be caught up in the life and day-to-day canvas while losing the sight of the bigger picture. I was just going through. So what outside perspective and also perspective towards self with this book you provide to the readers?
So there are multiple things. One, a powerful driver, because I don't want to miss this because you just mentioned it, that universe is always trying to make things happen for you. It's always with you. आपके साथ कोई हो ना हो, universe is always with you. It's always with me. I very powerfully believe it. But you have to play your part honestly. If you're playing your part with honesty, where you know that I'm being authentic to it, I might give just 5 minutes of my time to this per day, but I'm authentically giving just 5 minutes every single day. Universe will support you and it will make things happen for you. And this is again something that absolutely, absolutely. I'm sure. And somebody who is learned, somebody who is wise, has always believed in this fact because life has shown them ways of how this works. Now, another book that I'm very proud of, and that has come to my life at a very at a time when I needed it the most, and universe brought it forward, was The Alchemist. And Alchemist very powerfully drives that message that that everything is within you. Your treasure is inside you. You're not just looking inside. आप बाहर दुनिया भर में ढूंढ रहे हो and you're getting tired. It is where you are. Just find inside yourself. And second thing is that bloody universe is trying to help you all the time. तुम उसको chance तो दो. तुम उसको अपनी help करने तो दो. तुम ही नहीं करने दे रहे हो. You are the ones who's resisting by saying to yourself. Your self-talk becomes very important. कि मेरे से नहीं होगा. I'm not good enough. I'm not made for this. I can't do this. People will laugh at me. This will happen. And universe has no choice there because you are against yourself. अगर तुम अपनी टीम से नहीं खेल रहे हो, तुम दूसरे की टीम में जाके बैटिंग कर रहे हो, तुम उसके लिए छक्के मार रहे हो और अपनी टीम के लिए डक आउट हो रहे हो, then the universe can't support you, saying that boss तुम अपने लिए ही नहीं लड़ रहे हो, खड़े हो रहे हो, तो मैं क्या करूं? So that's what I learned from that book, and again I accepted it. Did I question it? कि ये author ऐसा क्यों बोल रहा है, इसको ऐसा कैसे पता है? I just accepted it and it worked wonders for me. And
that's very important for people, especially the youth, to know that every one of us are born equal. Every one of us are born as a human being with the same capabilities and capacity. It's the what we work upon, what we put the effort, we trust, the universe will drive it for. And therein we see the people are different at different levels, I believe. So that's what a little thing matters the most, and the relationships you have reflected in the book also, Prashant, is amazing. But the most beautiful thing I saw and got attracted to is the cover of your book, which is you and your daughter Khushi, a lovable kiddo. So that was really very striking and attractive, which attracted me to bring this session to the people to understand that little things do matter. So what message would you wish to give by looking at the cover page and a relationship between two generations?
Sure. So there are multiple things, and I've been asked this many times about the cover because the cover has come out very uniquely. Now, it was not intentional. The only thing that I had in mind was that when we did that photo session that day of, when we had the photographer here to get the cover page done, I knew that I wanted to highlight life because, I always say that leadership is a life skill. So I did not want my cover to be a typical leadership cover where I'm talking about those aspects of leadership. I'm saying that, boss, zindagi leadership hai. Every day of your life you lead. Every second of your life you're leading. It's not just about that designation that you're getting at work. Once you accept that, saying that, that life is a journey of leadership and leadership is a life skill, things become much easier because then you focus on your being. You're becoming a person who is a leader in life. Then it shows up in your designations as well. You don't have to mask yourself saying that, Acha, now I am a senior manager, now I am a CXO, now I am a team leader, now I am a supervisor. No, you are this person in life. So life becomes very easy for you because your being and doing are aligned. They are not moving in different directions. कि मैं कर ये रहा हूं लेकिन मैं हूं ये. Then there is no alignment and there is a constant struggle and life becomes difficult. Now, with this thought, I wanted to project my life in this book, saying that, yeah, this is what I have learned from my life. So I wanted it to be full of life.
Can you show the book cover to all the audience very nicely? Because I have something to talk about in one line about the book cover, which I really loved and admired. Thank you so much, Prashant, for sharing. Now, please, you can.
So when I got few pictures taken, this was one of the pictures that came out, and it purely represented the state that we are in today, especially in COVID times, that we are on Zoom calls where, we are wearing suit and ties, but नीचे लोगों ने बरमूडा पहना हुआ है, क्या पहना हुआ है, कोई नहीं जानता है. And the same time you have life happening. You have kids at home, who are in the same space as you are, and they are playing, they are having fun. Now at this time, there are multiple things that came into my mind when I saw this picture. क्योंकि हमने बहुत सारी pictures click की. Now, when I saw this picture, I could relate to the story of this book in two ways. One, this is me, this is Prashant, and this is Prashant's daughter, Khushi. Khushi is looking outside the world, saying that, what does this world look like? What world has been created for me? And what has my father done to make this world a better place for me? Those are the questions that are running in her mind. And I am sitting there looking at her, looking at the world and thinking, what am I doing for her? What am I doing to create this space that she is looking at, a better space for her to live in, a better space for her to breathe in, a better space for her to lead her life in? What am I doing for it? This was one thought that came into my mind. Second thought that came into my mind is that when I started writing this book, the story probably starts when I was somewhere here at this age. And now I am here. So I am also looking back at myself कि ये मैं हूं, मेरी कहानी यहां से यहां तक की जो है, that is this book. So there are two facets to it. One, I'm looking at my daughter and thinking that, what is she looking at? What is she thinking about this world? What world am I creating for her? And second, I'm also looking at myself and looking at the past, thinking that, what is my journey from here to here and what have I learned from coming from here to here? That is what this book represents. So those are the two sides of the coin that I could come up with.
Very beautiful. The latter one, even I thought the same, that two generations looking forward and backward, but you reflecting your childhood. But the first one was commendable, that she's looking towards outside the world, and you are thinking that what you have made so that she can lead the way in a very beautiful world. It's really a beautiful way of representing your life journey and story. With this, Prashant, I have very quick rapid fire questions with you, but the conclusion is that you will have only one keyword or two keywords maximum, no sentence, to put across to audience, because it's very important at times. Life, as we told, little thing matters. So one or two keywords matter, and life sometimes gives limitations. So these are the limitations, and within those limitations, how you can perform is also, or you can express, is also a way to understand that how can you create path of your life.
You have set a very, very, very smart and intelligent context. It's like a trap for me.
Yeah. So your experience, in one or two words, your experience after writing the book.
more proud of myself and more grateful towards life and universe.
Awesome. One word for your book name, Leading the Way. Only one word.
Authentic.
Okay, that's interesting. If you have to write a book on a youth leadership, then what would it be?
Discipline is the key. Don't wait for motivation.
Okay. Your book cover, Through My Eyes, read Flashback to the Childhood, which I just shared. Read Self Journey. Name one thing you missed and regret that you should have not.
I could have spent more time with my dad. I could have been more kind in the journey that I had with him.
Okay. So, 3 major transformations in your life until now.
One, getting rid of stutter after 25 years. Second, losing those 30 to 40 kgs of my weight. And third, being somebody who is crazily disciplined and focused and enjoys life to the fullest, from being somebody who used to be filled with fear, doubt, and worry all the time and being anxious all the time.
So, if you recommend to write a book, then why? In just 1 or 2 words, why?
It's a therapeutic experience. You will know yourself better. You will understand life better.
Awesome. So knowing yourself and knowing your life is something very challenging. But I also say that it's very easy. If you know yourself, life becomes very easier. So thank you, Prashant, being with us on the show and expressing your thoughts about book and influencing the mass to why to write a book or read a book and how can book change your life. So bottom line is you will gain a confidence. What matters matters, and when you lead yourself by yourself, I think the things better unfolds and the uncertainty becomes more, as a coach for you by sharing your ideas, thoughts, emotions, and making life more realistic and by taking your own self in a writing form. Book, as you said, is medication. It's one of the best friend. It also possibilities, it opens many possibilities in life. And I also believe that today we talk about mental health issues, where if someone writes the book, then it also is a healing therapy for the self mental health, which will empower you differently and uniquely and valuably. So please, thank you, audience. Thank you, Prashant, for being here. And thank
Thank
you,
you so
all the
much.
audience for being here. So connect to Your Soul Soup and with
Thank
me
you.
for more such sessions and many more new things coming insights for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rajni. Thank you, everyone.